Hey everyone, it's Louisa Munson from Feel Good Astrology. I've got a feel good conversation that's really close to my heart, actually. I've invited Tjasa Pavcek to talk to me about conscious birthing and conscious conception. We had a conversation in, I think, July of 2020. And we were talking at this lovely garden party. We were talking about our birthing experiences and about her work. She's an Adoula, which I'm not going to explain what an Adoula is here because she's going to explain it in a minute. But I was just really taken by Tjasa's approach and the work that she does. And I invited her onto the show to share her experiences. So should we bring her on? So it's my absolute pleasure to bring on my guest today, and my guest is Tjasa Pavcek. So Tjasa, welcome to Feel Good Conversations. It's amazing to have you on because we've been talking on and off for quite some time, haven't we? So it's lovely to have you here. Welcome. How are you today?
Yes, I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you very much, Louisa, for inviting me into the show. It is my pleasure as well. So I can share a little bit of what we will be talking about today.
Yeah, it's incredible because like the first time I met you in person, we were with our good friend Tania, and we were at this very beautiful like open house event, and we were talking and we were connecting, you know, as two mums talking about natural birthing and I guess like the role of spirit, or you know, a connection in our lives, and how that can all come into being. Now, when I first got pregnant with my eldest, my husband and I did ask him to join us. We did kind of invite him to come in and live in my womb for a bit. But if I'd known some of the things that you're about to share with us, we may have done it slightly differently. So, you are known as an Adoula, as opposed to a doula. Can you just explain to me the difference between those two? Because I'm sure most people watching will know what a doula is, but not necessarily have heard the word Adoula.
Yes, okay. So the main role of a doula is to help the future parents to make the connection with their baby. Even before conception, this is the ideal story, or during the pregnancy. So I help future parents to make a very deep spiritual connection between the baby and the parents. And this is so different attitude to start a new story, a new chapter in the life with already knowing the baby and knowing him or her every day more and more and more and deeper. And when the parents hold their child into their arms for the very first time, they already know this baby. You know, this baby is not kind of being like somebody that I don't know, that I see for the very first time, or being a stranger, but you know that baby. You have made a deep connection with her or him, and this is truly such a different and amazing experience that once I had experienced it, I just wanted to share it like with everybody. Everybody should do that because it is so different, and it really changes your life if you go in that way.
Wow. So very, very different, because my understanding of a doula is that they're more involved in the actual birthing and the support of the mum going through the birthing process. And
doulas, yes.
Yeah, and helping them after the baby's born. Whereas your role is to help people find that connection and create that connection and nurture that connection throughout the whole pregnancy, right the way through to the end. Wow. Yes, it's a very big difference. Can I ask, how did that all begin for you? You know, take me back to the first time when you knew that was what you wanted to do.
Yes. Okay. It was about 10 years ago, when I already had 2 kids, 2 boys, and my husband asked me if we would like to have another one. And I was not so much passionate about that idea. But then a few months later, I found the information of this DreamWalk Birth School. And I started to read that, and it was something completely new and unknown for me so far. And the more I was reading, I was so passionate about that. I was really feeling this material with every cell of my body. And I said, okay, I would like to have another baby, but just in the way as it was described in this school of birth. But then I asked my husband, because I would like, this ideal if both parents are cooperating, mother and father as well. But if not, father is interesting, also only mother can cooperate. And my husband said, yes, also for me, this is the only option. And I was then I felt such a passion for that. And we immediately started to make a connection with the baby, but I wasn't even pregnant yet. So we started everything before the conception. And
how much before the conception was it?
It was maybe about 3 or 4 months before that, because I very, very soon that I got pregnant.
Wow.
And this was so special time for me because, I already was feeling my daughter, that she's coming. I was feeling her energy. I was communicating with her. She was telling to me all the time, I'm a girl, and my name is Isa. Even everything that happened before conception. And, if you start preparing before the conception, it is like, imagine having a preparation for the party, because you know that it will happen. You start preparing the invitations, what kind of food you will eat, you decorate the space or everything, because it will happen. You are sure, And it was the same for me. I knew I was going to have this baby, even if I wasn't pregnant yet. And I was just making this space, this safe space of preparation for her to come. And it is very hard even to describe it, but at that time I even wasn't ready to share this, And when I was a little bit, I was not the youngest mom when I got the 3rd pregnancy. And then when people around me, they found out that I'm pregnant, they were asking me several times, oh, was this by accident? I said, oh. And I didn't explain, of course, but I said, I just thought by myself, oh, it was so conscious that like every birth should and every conception.
Can I ask, how old were you when you conceived her?
38.
Oh, and how old is she now?
She will be 9 soon.
Yeah. Well, that's around the same time that I had my child. I mean, I was 37 when I had my first, and I had my third when I was 43. Oh my goodness.
Yes, but
I know what you mean. Like, people do get really worried about age, don't they? There's a lot of fear.
And also the boys were 9 and 12 already, so we had a little bit bigger difference. But during the whole process of pregnancy, I was feeling like I was 10 years younger. And even when I went to the gynecologist to do all these procedure and everything, all my test results, she said, oh, you have the test results as you were 10 years younger. And I was really feeling 10 years younger, And then even she confirmed me that, because I don't believe in the age that is written on my documents. It is what I feel, what my cells feel, what energy am I in, this is the real age.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's how you got into the idea of like the conscious birthing and the Adoula work through
Yes.
your direct experience, through your
Yes.
husband's invitation initially, should we have another child? And then
Yes.
you think, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And this is what I was so passionate about, that but at first I needed about 2 years to really make this connection also, and to make the time after the labor of her, to have the time totally just for my family, for the little daughter and for the sons. And so at that time I wasn't even ready to share this, or to start to share this with other, and to make connections with other parents. But then it was some journalist. She was encouraging me all the time, because a few people knew about my story. But she said, Tjasa, you didn't do that just for yourself. You need to share your story. You need to share it. And then after 2 years, I was really ready, and she made an interview with me in one Slovenian magazine. And then also the mothers from Slovenia started to know my work. So at that time I was like slowly ready to share it, because I really feel now that I wasn't doing that just for myself, but it is much easier to share this if you're sharing from my own experience, if I would just read it in some course or something like that. And now I have also already worked with several parents, so I have a lot of different stories, and also this helps several parents that I said, oh hey, I have one mom, she had said the same story as you, and then I'm sharing the stories of my client, but totally without any names or so, but all the stories from my story and from the old parents I was working with are helping the new clients that are coming in,
Yeah. I've got a question for you, actually.
Sure.
Because not all pregnancies work out, do they? And I imagine that having what difference does it make when you have already got that conscious connection with the child, with the baby, if the pregnancy doesn't work out?
Yes, one of the things that this school of birth is teaching is that a lot of miscarriages happens because there is not a strong connection made between future parents and the baby. That this is also one of the reasons. And with making this deep connection between the baby and the future parents, there are much more chances that the baby will be healthy, and also that the parents will the pregnancy will be much smoother and much more in peace for the both parents. Because imagine being pregnant and having a total trust that everything, all the process will be in perfect peace, and that the baby will be healthy and that you will be healthy. Imagine this kind of pregnancy, because a lot of time being pregnant, you find several informations on the internet, and then you heard the story from that woman, and from that woman what was wrong. But if you're leaving this in the trust of yourself that it will be okay, you can really relax and have time for you to enjoy this pregnancy, because this is one of the key. If you enjoy the pregnancy in peace, of course the baby is a part of you. He will or she will feel this. So
Wow, thank you. So what kinds of things are the parents doing to create the conscious creation connection? Is it breath work? Is it like, how do you help parents connect?
Yes, yes, the key, thank you for this question, because it is very important. One of the key points, how do parents make a connection with the future baby is through conscious breath.
Right.
So this is because this is also, if you want to make the connection with yourself, with your soul, this is one of the perfect tool, I said, that we have got when we came here to the earth. But, people don't use it so much because it is for free. People like to pay for something, or they need to have 5 or 10 steps to do something. But the breath is such a strong key tool that you have always within you. You don't have to pay for anything. It is just this conscious choice that you need really to breathe consciously. And this is the key that with which the future parents connect with their future baby. And they need to be really they need to take a commitment that they will do this on a daily basis, every day. From it's ideal if they start doing this before the conception, and then through the whole period of 9 months of pregnancy, and even 9 months after, because 9 months after it is a different process, of pregnancy, because this connection is not helping you just through the period of pregnancy, but is helping you even in the period after that, because in that when you already have the baby, you feel it, what the baby would like to have. When he's crying, you know what to do. You're not like in panic. You just take a deep breath and you connect with the baby, and you know what to do. Imagine it is totally different attitude. So this is like really the key point, that the parents make a commitment that they will do the breathing every day for about 20 minutes. And then at the very early beginning, it might sound, oh, this is a long period, but all the parents, when they start, they are so looking forward because they are meeting their baby. They are feeling it every day. So they even don't want to stop then. And then, once you are able to make this deep connection with your baby, you're able to make this deep connection also with yourself. So this is the gift that remains also forever, because when you have this practice on a daily basis, your life changes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this
absolutely. You're setting up good patterns for your family.
Yes.
You're setting like the rhythm for your family, the intention for your family. I love that. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, and this is also, even then when the child started to grow up, then you learn this child again to breathe consciously, because my children, they're listening me to all of the time. I said, just breathe. If they're like if they fall down, if they're in panic, I said, just breathe, and then they're making fun of me. Okay, till now I didn't breathe, now I will breathe, but everything, when there is a situation where you can choose or to be in a fear or not, I said, okay, just breathe. I'm talking here about the conscious breath with your belly, not with the lungs, because if you see the newborns, they know how to breathe. They are really breathing with their belly, but then they stopped. They started to breathe just with the lungs. And I was asking that my teacher of the breath, Norma Delaney, why does that happen? And she said, because they are looking for their parents. They are looking how the people around them are breathing. And if you're breathing with lungs, this is the energy of fear. The energy of trust is when you're breathing with your belly. So I believe this is very important also to move it on to the children when they are growing. that if you're going in this process like a conscious parent, it is one of your roles also to be a reminder for the kids, to remind them as soon as possible who they are, because, you know, as soon they come here, they forget. And imagine if, or I'm talking for myself, if I would be growing up in a family where my parents would be encouraging me every day to remember who I really am, instead of discovering that in many, many years, you know.
Yeah, and then being forced. It's funny that you say that, because actually one of the things that makes me like so determined to speak to different people and learn as much as I can and explore things about who I am is so that my children can work that out for themselves early on, and it doesn't take them 30 years or
Yes.
40 or 50 years. Or
Yes.
you see some people, they go to their deathbed not knowing who they are, and it's
Yes.
oh
Yes.
yeah.
So
That's a very good
yes,
gift.
I believe that this is the role of the conscious parents who know, who have these informations, to give them. This is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to your children, you know, to be a reminder, a gentle reminder. Because I believe that our children are much, much higher their souls are much more like how to say
Evolved.
yes, as we are, you know. So they're a great teacher of our own, of course. And
Yeah.
the more we remind them, the more we get back from them as well.
Yes. Yeah,
To,
definitely.
to encourage them to speak about what they see, what they feel, what they see around themselves. And also, I was encouraging my daughter to have, you know, a different relationship with her body as well, since she was very, very little. I was talking with her. Okay, if your body is in pain, just ask, oh dear body, please heal this or heal that. And once she wasn't even 2, she had a very high fever in the night. And then I said, okay, let's talk to your body. And she said, okay, mom, let's do it together. And I said, okay, dear body, please heal itself. And then in the morning, the fever was gone, you know.
Wow.
And then she was maybe a little bit more than 2. She once came in the morning in my bedroom and she said, Mom, you know what happened? During the night, I was feeling the pain in my ear, and I just said, oh, my dear body, my ear, please heal this. I don't want this pain any longer. And now it's not hurting me any longer, you
That's
know?
incredible.
And yes, and she was really a little bit more than 2. And then, you know what, when some friends came to us, her friends, and they were telling about the pain in their ears or somewhere, and then she was explaining to them, they were just a few years old, oh, you can just talk to your body and your body will heal itself, you know. And with growing up in that attitude, for her is just a very normal way to speak to your body, that your body has all the abilities to heal itself.
That's very empowering, isn't it?
Yes. And you know, she doesn't feel strange when talking this, you know, because if you would, or if I would mention this to some friends that I was talking to my body, he might feel, okay, this is a little bit strange for me. But for her, since she's living with that since she was born, it's normal, you know?
That's so special and powerful. I love that. Thank you so much. So you make the connections, you help people connect with their future children, and they have their conception. Is there anything to do around the time of conception? You know, what would you recommend, or what can you say about the ideal conception?
Yes. For me, is the ideal conception if the parents are choosing it very, very consciously. So this preparation on this conception, it can begin also already a year or even more before the same conception. And one of the key for me is that the choice of having baby is really a very conscious choice that comes within the parents. Not that they are not choosing the baby because they are already in certain age, or because all the friends around already have the babies, or maybe because grandparents would like to have another grandchildren or anything. You know, it is very important to be so honest with yourself that you have this choice, this wish that is coming within you. And if it is coming within you that you don't want to have babies, is fine as well. You know, it's better to be so honest with yourself that you say, okay, in this lifetime, I'm not choosing to be a parent. It's okay. It's better to be in that way honest than to have the children because somebody from the outside would like and is pushing, on you. So this is, for me, one of the key steps, that the choice is coming from you, that you really choose the child. And then there are also, the choices that you can make. What kind of soul would you like to choose? Because, imagine we are choosing on a daily basis. If you're buying a new phone, you choose you have many choices to make. But then you decide that you will have a child, and you said, okay, I will have the child, and that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it?
Yes, this is so important things, because you can choose to have a child that is coming, for example, from your karmic relationships, from your some other lifetimes, or you can even choose the child that you don't know, that you will meet here for the very first time, or the child that is coming indeed for the very first time in this lifetime. So there are several different choices that you can make, but you need to have, the informations of being aware, to start preparing your body, because here is so important partner in this process is obvious a body. Without body, this is not possible, of course. But imagine that you have a relationship with the body, that you explain to your body. It is the same communication that I was explaining before, that my daughter is having with her body. It is all connected here. That you explain to your body that you would like to conceive now a baby. Dear body, could you please prepare to make a conception, and I would like to have a very healthy baby, and to that my body also will be very healthy. And you're starting, communication with your body. And if you're giving them your body some love and gentleness and compassion, you will get this back. It is a partner. It is the same as, in the partnership. If you will be kind with the people you're having communication, you will get this kindness back. And here is body who is responding on our, communications, wishes, and taking care of the body. And here again, conscious breath is very important tool to take care of not only of our body and spirit as well, and to nurture the body. Nurturing the body is here very, very important, to give the body the massage and some bathing and regular exercising. This means you can just go on the walk on the nature, but just you need to take care for your body in this all preparation for the conception and the labor. And if you start this in a very early time, it will get the whole process much smoother, And then also later on, when you get into the labor, you start preparing your body and ask him to prepare to get into the labor and so on. It is a constant communications between you and your body. So
yeah, that's really special. Really special. And what percentage of the population do you think actually do that before they?
Very, very, very few, really, because there are not so many adoulas that they are working that, but I believe now it's really time to speak honestly and loudly about that this is possible, because if people will go consciously into whole this process, everything would be much smoother, and the whole pregnancy will be more in ease and in grace, and woman will know when the child is coming. This has so much impact, because birthing is, first, it is a very, very spiritual process. But in human, they think that birthing is more like physical process, but it's first a very, very spiritual process. Because when does everything begin? When you hold the child in your hand? No, it begins earlier. When you see that a woman that have a belly? No, it begins earlier. So it's, is it from conception? No, because the soul needs to choose the body. So when does everything begin? Where from? It's very hard to say this is where, but mostly human believes that when they feel something physical, but it begins much before, and having this knowledge that this is also possible. And then when women have these experiences, they will share it among the friends, and I believe more and more people will start being aware. So this is why I also feel this passion to share this information among. But this is like my friend. She was doing this birth school with me. She said, "This is absolutely not for everybody, but if you will take this step, your life will change."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is life-changing. I mean, it's life-changing having a baby, isn't it? But life-changing to have a baby in that way. Can I talk to you about the importance of like the place of birth, and also your ideas on pain during the labor?
Yes, sure. Very interesting question. For me, I was, for example, feeling with this third pregnancy that my daughter would like to have a labor in the water. So this was, during these communications, in these several months, I was getting a lot of informations from her. I was really like hearing her, like she was really talking, like we are talking now. Sometimes I was feeling, but and I was very conscious about these informations, and I was taking them seriously, but here in all this process, a lot of time also the mind is chatting.
Yeah.
For example, I was getting the information she would like to get the birth in the water, and then my mind, oh no, you're just making it up, this is but here, so this is why here is the trust in all this process is the key, that you trust the voice that you are hearing. So I was first feeling that she would like to have a labor in the water. And now I was searching for the hospitals where can I get the birthing into the water. But then I found out that it was just one, and I got there, I saw the place, and I didn't feel it. I said, no, this is not for me. This is not what she is choosing, neither do I.
Yeah.
But then it just happened. I still remember this feeling. I was in the car driving, not thinking about anything. And it just came, these strong informations, give your baby the birth at home. And it was so strong that I still remember this feeling. And at the very same time, I got the information. She told me that both me and her, my daughter, will be absolutely safe. And this trust in this moment was so strong, because I knew that I will get, the questions from the outside, from the parents and friends. Oh, this is not safe. Why don't you rather go to hospital or anything? But
yeah,
yes.
I know these kinds of questions.
Yes. But when you get this feeling of really 100% of trust that we will both be safe, I really didn't care what anybody would say. It was such a trust, as I would now start to say, oh, Louisa, tonight it will be sunny all night long. But you say, no, I know that it will be dark. And I will say, oh, no. I was so 100% that nobody, if somebody would say this is not safe, I really didn't care. So this is, again, this trust that I was having through her communications. And then I was really started to preparing everything for the labor at home, because I have got the information, I trusted it. So I continued. I found a woman who came into my home, and just a week before the labor, I was starting to feeling something. And I just went into the breath. I connected to my daughter and I said, okay, what is this? She said, it's nothing, just go to bed. I'm not coming yet. I said, okay. This is the way we were communicating. And then just a week after, I again started to feel something that is going on in my belly. And I just make the connection with her. And she said, okay, tonight I'm coming. I said, okay. I just took a phone. I called this woman. She came from Italy, but she was there in just 1 hour. And I went down and I said to my husband, Isa is coming tonight. He said, already? I said, yes. He made a fireplace, and we turned off all the lights and just put on the candles and took off all the lights. So it was like, being almost in the dark, just with the light of the fireplace and of the candles. And I put some soft music on. And then when this lady came, we put the water into the small swimming pool in front of the fireplace. And then it was about few hours later, Isa was born. And it was so, I have chosen already before giving her birth that I want to choose the labor without pain. Because I said, I believe this is possible. Because this is just a belief system, that the pain, that the labor is painful, that it should be in pain. Because if you didn't have a labor yet, if you watch the TV, you just saw the woman, how they are screaming, lying on their back, and it is never, I have never seen on TV some peaceful labor or anything like that. But I said, okay, this is not my choice.
Yeah.
And I was indeed doing this, vocalization during the labor, because I was reading, this is one of the amazing books that I believe every pregnant woman should read, from Ina May. It is, I don't know if it is the title, The Wisdom of Being Born or something like that. And she was explaining, if your mouths are relaxing during the contractions, also you're opening more with ease and grace. And if you're during the contractions, if you just take a deep breath, and then instead, when you're in pain, you're like, instead of doing this, if you're just gently, you are vocalizing like the sound of a, and then what it comes out. And while I was doing that, I really didn't feel any pain at all. I said I could do this all night long. And then I tried just one contraction without vocalization, and I was in pain. I said, okay, this is really helping. And it is also the key that you know that during 2 contractions, there is always time of peace with no contraction. And there is the time to do some conscious breathing and to relax. You know, and as you know, Louisa, as well, here at home birth, you really need to trust your body, because there is nobody who is telling you in the second phase, now push. You just need to be so connected with yourself, with your body, that you will know when to push. And this was something that I was used, you know, from the previous 2 labors, that somebody would tell me what to do. Not me, not my body. And I was asking myself, okay, how will I know how to push? And then in some time of my labor, I was asking myself too much, and then the contractions ended, and like, you know, the labor like stops. And that moment, I still remember it very consciously. No. Tjasa, go into your body, feel your body, trust your body, that you will exactly know what to do. And then the contractions again started. And then I simply knew when I need to push. And then I was like smiling, oh my God. So if you're asking, do I need to push or not? No, it's not time yet, because you really know how to do it. And, you know, that because I was, you know, in the swimming pool, I also know exactly in what position to take. Because if you're lying dead in that bed, a bed in the hospital on the back, you have no room to make, or, and here you really, your body knows in what position he should take. And you know, this is really the labor that you are having it so instantly. You know what to do. You just listen to yourself, you just breathe, and everything goes in such an ease and grace. And this was, I said, for me, giving a home birth is like the hotel with 5 stars for giving a birth, to having a labor. And you know, to give the birth in such a peaceful place, where there is such a safe space, where you know that there won't be anybody who would do anything what you don't agree with. Because if you're in hospital unit, oh, maybe if they want, they would like to do that. No, I don't agree. You know, but here there is just safe space, and you know, you're with the people who you 100% trust. And so
sorry to interrupt. It's really like, I had 2 births in hospital with my first 2. The first one was very quick. My first son, my very first pregnancy, birthing came within an hour, an hour and 20, very rapid. And I sang throughout my birthing, and I was in my own position. For my second, my daughter, I felt there was an interference. You know, the hospital said, oh, you're 41, you're going to need this. And it was happening in between Christmas and New Year. And so I felt a lot of interference, and that pregnancy was induced. And I was connected up to wires and things, and like to manage her heartbeat. And I really didn't like it. But I didn't feel like I had any power to talk. I mean, it was still a quick delivery, and I had gas and air for 5 minutes. And it took me ages to recover from it. I really didn't enjoy it as much as birthing my 2 boys. My last child, I gave birth very much like you're birthing with Isa. We ran a pool, we lit the fire, lit some candles, and we had a midwife that attended to us at home. And the thing that really struck me, and this is what I think you're also saying, she didn't touch me at all. My midwife in my 3rd pregnancy, Like I went to 2 hospitals just to have scans, but not a single doctor touched my vagina from the moment my child was conceived, and not even during the birth. Like when I had my hospital births, the midwives, like they put their fingers inside you. It's
so
also
painful.
And they do it, you know, it happens a few times, you know, like people might have a look and, you know, I wasn't touched once. She knew that I'd already delivered twice, and she could see that I was really empowered in my own body. But my midwife had been a midwife for 40 or 50 years. I mean, I think she was nearing retirement, and she taught home birthing around the world. So she's very experienced. But she was studying where my body was bulging and the sounds of my the sounds that I was making and the breathing, and she just knew that everything was okay, and she just let me do it. And then when my son came out, just before he came out, she said, in a moment I won't speak, because the first sounds your son must hear are your voices. And you don't get that in a hospital, do you?
No.
I was so shocked by that. It was such a tender moment, but I can't imagine. I mean, that was a perfect moment for me and my husband and our son, and then our other children came and joined us. But if I'd been breathing with my son all the way through and with my husband, I imagine that experience would be so much more amplified. It almost makes me want to have another baby now. I want to Carl and say, come on, Carl, let's have one more for luck.
Yes.
Down and really, really consciously do it.
Yes. And you know, you have an amazing story as well. It's where when you have once this home birth experience, it's something that you would really like to repeat. And I remember when she came out of my body, when she was born, she didn't cry at all, you know. But why should she? She totally knew where she was coming. She knew me. And I was holding like that. I still remember her look. She opened her eyes because she can see, because there were no light in her eyes. And she was looking at me with eyes wide open and just watching. Where is she? No sound at all, not crying, just satisfaction, total pure love, falling in love with the baby. She's watching you and then breastfeeding her. These are so precious moments that I believe almost only if you give birth at home, you can experience that, because you know, there is no need to wait the baby, because she will wait the same even 2 hours later and so on. And you know, I remember I gave the birth at 4 a.m. in the morning, and then at 11 a.m. They my husband and 2 boys, they both cut the, how do you say, the
umbilical cord.
Yes, and she said that it is very good that you cut it a few hours later, about 7 or 8, because there are some informations that are coming through that also hours later on.
Oh, I wish I'd known that.
Yes, so I was carrying her with all these like this, how do you say, this bed that you have
your
around,
placenta.
yes, for several hours. And you know, also I knew everything about the labor, because my older boys, they were asking me, oh, when Isa is coming. I said, one morning when you will wake up and you will come down in the living room, you will meet your sister, because I knew that I will give birth during the night. I knew that, you know, I had so much knowingness. I knew everything, what is going, what will be happening, you know, because when you're so connected to yourself. And even Isa, she had she gave me the information when will she be birthed. Before, she said, I'm coming in 6 weeks, and then she came, you know, after 6 weeks. So I already, it is like, you know, astrology reader. like you're reading, you know, like everything. And this is so fun. You can really, I really enjoyed my pregnancy and being in total trust. I was even walking in the forest just a few days before giving the birth without any phone. But then some friend asked me, do you go in the forest by your own? Oh, so you have the phone with you if something happens. I said, no, I don't have. My phone is at home because I know that I'm not having the labor now when I'm going to the forest. You know, I was in such a 100% trust that I knew that I'm safe. And this is the feeling, the grand gift that if the woman can, who had bad experiences and they were in worries all the time during the pregnancy and even after that, this is such a grand gift that you can give to yourself, to be in peace and grace and in trust. And imagine if you are in this energy, what your baby is feeling, exactly what you are. So now you choose again. What would you like your baby to feel? Your peacefulness or something else? It is really everything the matter of choice, you know. But you know, without judgment to the people or to the woman who don't, everybody has the experience as they are ready for or everything. But it is a possibility to have totally new approach. And you know, even then after the baby is born, as I was talking before, you get the informations. For example, we went to the seaside with Isa. She was only 6 weeks old in a tent, because this is for me like the best holidays possible, in a tent near the seaside. And at that time, the sea was still very, very cold, you know. And I said, no, I won't put her in the sea because it's too cold. And then once I was doing the connection with her, she said, I would like to go to the sea. And, you know, the very next moment, my mind, no, it's too cold. But I said, no, I'm trusting my voice within or her information. And I went really very, very slowly with her in the sea, and it was very cold. And then when I came to the sea with her, she was like just her head up, and she started really to swim. And she was enjoying and moving her body in this so cold water, you know. But I was trusting the informations that she was giving to me, you know. And without that, I'm sure I wouldn't go to the sea with her because it was too cold. And it is much, much easier even the post pregnancy period, because you trust yourself so much, and you trust the voice that you're hearing from your baby, that it's everything much, much easier. And you can again enjoy your pregnancy. And you know, Isa, she wasn't crying at all, even then later on, because when we were here in this camp in the seaside, you know, there were people asking me, why is your baby not crying at all? You know, they were seeing me on a daily basis and she was never crying. Why should she? I was carrying her almost all the time, skin to skin. If she would like to eat, okay, left, right, whatever. No, never watch on the time. I was just, you know, like doing everything with my intuition, with my knowingness. I didn't care what was the time, and we were so connected, and she was so satisfied. So there was no need to cry at all, you know. And even
that's absolutely perfect and beautiful. And I absolutely love that. I love that, you know, this has been a conversation of like connection with the unborn child, right the way through to the birthing, and then into the first few weeks, months. You know, it's a continuous communication. I love that so much. Tjasa, if somebody wanted to contact you, like if somebody wanted to work with you or breathe with you, or, you know, just wanted to connect with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
they can send me an email, or they can watch also my webpage. It's magicbreath.net. And my email is tjasa.pavcek@siol.net. But it is, if you visit my webpage, magicbreath.net, there are all the contacts there.
Fantastic. I mean, I'm going to put it all below. I'll put all the details below in the show notes. So people can connect you.
It's better.
I mean, have you got any like books or courses or anything that you'd like to talk about, or like a final thought? Like, if you're going to leave people today with one final thought, you know, about babies or birthing or conception, what would that be?
This is one of the topics that I'm so passionate. I could speak on and on and on, but
well, you can always come back.
But I would really like to invite the future parents to go very consciously into this whole process from the conception on, and to start making the choices of having the baby very, very consciously, and let this desire really comes from within you, because this is so important, this whole process, and what you will feel, remember, your baby will be feeling as well. So if you will go into this process with ease and trust and grace, and with that commitment that you would like to know this child, you know, he will be looking so much as well to come into your family. Well, he will know that he will be desired and loved. Because we parents, we must know that we are really only hosting here the child. The child is not like, you know, ours. And if you look like that on the child, and when you look into the eyes of the child, that you're really talking like angel to an angel, soul to an soul, you know, not, okay, you're still little one, don't need to speak, but really to have this relationship with your babies, with your children from the very, very early beginning. And I believe that your child will be very grateful for that step, if you choose so, of course, if you're committed, if you're ready for something completely new. And this will change your life. I know it.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing from your own personal experience and telling us more about the work of an Adoula as opposed to a doula.
Yes.
I really feel that you are helping to birth a new generation of being and consciousness on the planet.
Yes. Thank you so much for inviting me, Louisa, for making me possible to share these informations. And I said, if only just one, or no matter what, how many parents will feel this, will go into this, we are already making a huge changes.
Absolutely. Yeah,
yes.
100%.
I'm really grateful, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Well, I'll get you back soon as well. Talk some more.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and thank you also for all the listeners. And if you have any questions about my work, about anything, please just contact me, and I will contact you back in a joy.
That's absolutely awesome. Thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Wow, that was really lovely. It brought all of my births straight back into my mind. It's funny, they never really go away, do they? And yeah, I can really I can really testify to what Tjasa was sharing in as much as speaking to your children. I spoke to all of my children throughout the pregnancy. I was able to hear them. I used to hear them before, they wanted to be born. And I would say to Carl, I think there's another baby on the way, and we would talk about it, but not to the extent that Tjasa has shared and explained. And I have to say, obviously, your births come out as they come out, and they are perfect for that moment and that soul that has come through. And yet, hearing this, I don't want to do it again, because obviously I'm very happy with what is. And yet there's this feeling, I could have done more. But, this isn't meant to beat us up. This is meant to expand us and I guess just show us that there are so many different ways that we can birth. In fact, in a conversation many years ago, I was speaking to my homeopath and saying, I've prepared this and I've done that. And, one of my worries is what happens if it doesn't quite go according to plan. I mean, speak to any new mum if their birth plan went according to plan, and nearly every one of them will say, it didn't go anywhere near how I was expecting it to go. And my homeopath said to me, well, you can plan the birth for your child as much as you want, Louisa. Ultimately, there are two people in this birthing process. There's you, and then there's your child. And if your child needs something that's not quite covered in that birth plan, they're going to get it. If they need a bit of drama to be born into, that may well happen. And so that kind of gave me a perspective too. But I really understand, Tjasa, talking from the perspective of, if you've got that agreement with your baby in place, there is a feeling of greater certainty. Anyway, I don't think we're going to be having any more babies in the Munson household, but it might be useful for you or somebody you know. If so, please do feel free to share. We like that. And if you love these conversations and haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell so when there's another episode for you to watch. All of Tjasa's details are below in the show notes. Feel free to reach out to her. I think she's very excited to be able to help co-create a really great situation for another baby coming earthside. Anyway, however you've reached us today, I'm really grateful for your presence here today. Thank you so much for your connection. I love the fact that you stopped by, and I look forward to connecting with you again. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye for now.